Good evening, friends. Today, we have Professor Vaidya back with us on our show. Welcome, sir. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Our viewers are waiting eagerly to hear you speak.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot, Minadi.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even before you came on screen, there were many already waiting to hear you speak, in fact, Professor.
Thank you very much.
It's your sense of humor that really attracts them.
You can be addressed as Meena Ma, Meena Di, Meena Thai. So many
Oh,
names,
not Thai,
right?
not Thai. I mean, not Meena
Huh?
Thai. because
Meena Thai is the
because
Maharashtrian.
you know why? Because Ria Chakravarti has been called Thai by all.
Okay,
That is a
you are
dangerous.
exempted.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah. So, Professor Vaidya, we'll start with the farmers issue. It seems in the farmers issue, the middlemen have been raided by the government, by IT, and the rally has started backing out. What is your analysis of this, sir? Could you tell us about this? The
This
farmers issue.
see the farmer issue itself, farmer bill should have been introduced, if you ask me frankly, some
Yeah.
25 years before.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good move,
Yeah.
and it is only legalizing what already is existing.
Yes.
For instance, in Punjab itself,
Yeah.
PepsiCo is doing contract farming for potato
Yeah.
for quite a long time actually now,
Yeah.
from 95 or so. Then chicken is contract farming, mango,
Yeah.
fruits,
Yeah.
horticulture. So many of them already are getting done actually. It's not
Yeah.
something new or anything.
Yeah.
So the only problem is with the Punjab farmers who have
Yeah.
this paddy and wheat,
Yeah.
and there this Aradhyar, what are known as the middlemen, they
Yeah.
dominate actually. They
Yes.
collect something like 6 to 7% and 2% commission, and this is the, so it's not something which is a very huge type of a national problem or anything.
Yeah.
And another thing is, it is very unfortunate that if a large group of people can block Delhi, they can get the whole thing amended or rescinded. It's a very peculiar situation.
Yeah.
We have got 28 states in India actually, and one group of farmers for one state cannot decide.
Yeah.
If this continues this way, that we can block Delhi and get anything cancelled, then people from south and east will say shift the capital. This
Yeah.
is not the, this is a very peculiar type of situation, not a acceptable thing. I'm sure over a couple of days it will get what do you call, sorted out. In the sense, they will, they don't have anything to argue or anything. They go on telling, listen the thing. But what is the issue? MSP is there, and the mandis are going to be there, and the people may not join the mandis. I am telling you, in 3 years,
Yeah.
almost all the food products in India will be on digital sales.
Yeah.
Already 13 states have signed for it.
Mm.
If you remember, you may recall, 92, there were 23 stock exchanges in the country.
Yeah.
Then integrated stock exchange came in national stock exchange. All the brokers and others were on the roads, and everybody told, oh, it's a major crisis, and nothing happened actually.
Mhm.
They all faded away, and this, the national stock exchange is the one which deals with thing. Same way, the technology is something which nobody can try to stop, like canoes, king, waves stopped. It's not possible. So I think this whole thing is, and it has become political also now. Economics of the thing has been thoroughly exposed, so it has become totally political.
Yeah.
With 4 hour fast or 8 hour fast or whatever it is, and then unfortunately, a lot of these Khalistanis have also seemed to have jumped into this,
Yeah.
and this Canadian Prime Minister talking about it, British MPs, all very, the same Canada opposed minimum support price in India in the WTO.
Yeah.
They argued forcefully against it. And the same Canadian Prime Minister is supporting, this all, the whole thing is become so political. And I don't think it will have much justification. And I don't, and they are not farmer. This, first of all, this media should be blamed. Farmer
Yeah,
agitation, farmer,
absolutely.
they should say agitators, that's all.
Mm.
Those who
Yeah,
agitate there, if you agitate, it doesn't automatically become your farmer.
yeah.
So there is a
And
huge
also the,
difference.
yeah, also the
For
kind of
them,
facilities.
for them, it's a question of getting a good news.
Yes.
What they call breaking news every time. As in the old time, it used to be told, if a dog bites man, it is not a news. If a man bites dog, it's a big news. So all of them are, some. I think we have 160 channels or something. Everybody running for,
Uh,
uh, somebody with a, sort of a towel in the head
mm,
is immediately
mm,
what you may loosely called a farmer, and the interview is conducted with him, and he
yeah,
says we are all suffering, and then so this is something.
yeah,
And actually, between you and me, madam, this has
mm,
become a, huge laughing stock actually now.
yeah,
As
yeah,
of now, after seeing all their,
yeah,
refrigerators and the
yeah.
pizza making
The
machines,
gym.
and
Yeah.
it has become a huge picnic ground outside of Delhi. It's not
Yeah.
anymore what one can call agitation place or anything. Anyhow, so I think
And,
I'm very confident within a couple of days all these thing will be
yeah.
uh,
Uh,
gone.
and it was not the parathas that they were selling; they were selling pizza.
Pizza. That what also intrigued me actually. Okay.
Yeah. Moving on to the Tamil Nadu scene, MK Stalin submitted a 97-page report to TN governor listing corruption charges against CM Irapadi Palaniswamy,
Palnichami, right.
deputy, yeah, DP, deputy CM Paneer Selvam, and their colleagues. He said, "We hope the governor will take action on corruption complaints against the CM and ministers. DMK is ready to go to the courts if the governor does not take action," he said, addressing the media. What is happening in Tamil Nadu, sir? And do you think Rajnikant's coming will change the face of politics in Tamil Nadu?
First and foremost is Stalin complaining on corruption is something highly hilarious actually, because his father was known as the what one can call Bhishma Pitamaha of corruption. He actually, one Sarkaria committee report told his father is excelled in scientific corruption. What is scientific corruption? Huge number of sugar bags were missing. Yeah, not
Okay.
one or two, thousands of sugar bags. His father told they were all eaten by ant. So that's all. That's why they are all missing. and uh, he collected huge government money of some thousands of crore to clean up Kuam. There is one river in Madras which has been, every political leader wants to clean it up. That's a business activity actually.
Yeah.
Anyhow, he collected, and it was never cleaned up. And people asked him, why have we not cleaned it up? He said some crocodiles were seen in that river. So we don't want to. So this whole thing is. Second is, you remember there is a story of Buddha where one lady goes to him and says, "My child has died. Can you kindly revive him?" Buddha says, was puzzled actually, but told her, "You go around the town and village and collect this mustard from homes where nobody has died." And she went around another thing, came back and told, "Sorry, Buddha, I could never locate a house where nobody has died."
Yeah.
Exactly the same position in corruption, particularly in Tamil Nadu. It is very difficult to locate a leader who is not corrupt actually. So this is not a, and these are electoral stunt. I will
Yeah.
go to court and this. So everybody knows, not only political leaders are corrupt. If you ask me, very sad state affair is people are becoming corrupt.
Yeah.
They want money to vote. Last election, it was rumored they were given anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 per person.
Yeah.
This poll, they expect 5,000 rupees.
Oh.
I'm sure this disease will spread all over the country, and it's a very, very bad state of affair. 5,000 mean if four-member family, you collect 20,000 rupees.
Yeah.
And of course, somebody commented, how do they ensure these people vote for them?
Yeah.
And it appears in rural areas, they take a promise on camphor, before God,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we will
Yeah.
only vote for you and collect. So whole thing is a tamasha actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
So second question of your Rajani entering. This Rajani is like, there is a famous story of tiger is coming, and the whole the child used to shout. And now it seems he has announced that December 31 he is
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
enter, announce.
Mm. Mm.
But between today and December 31, anything can happen. I can tell
Happen.
you that. So let him come. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong about it. And
Yeah.
how much it will impact is a question of what type of alliances he gets into, another thing.
Yeah.
But one interesting thing is if he targets and gets something like, say, 40 to 60 seats,
Yeah.
assuming he's able to
Mm.
get 40, he will become a balancing factor
Yeah. Yeah.
because 234 seats are there in Tamil Nadu. If
Yeah.
40 was to 60 goes away, 180 will be pending.
Yeah.
And the other two or three parties will get the combination of 180. They will not be able to form the government. It will be similar to Karnataka situation, where with 28 MLAs, our friend became the chief minister actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
So unbelievable. It has never happened in the history of India. Small, very small group, but he became a balancing factor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyhow, so there is a possibility the coalition government may come in Tamil Nadu. Always the DMK never stood alone in election from 1967, actually, always with alliances, but they formed government on their own. They never had other parties in the cabinet.
Yeah.
So Rajani factor will be interesting to watch actually, and it will be more impactful than that of this Kamal, who is moving around, and he is not going to have any significant impact. If at all, he may have some impact in terms of cutting the DMK votes because
Yeah.
his constituency is very similar to that of DMK.
Okay.
Rajani, there is a worry if he doesn't go for alliances with other parties
Mm.
which are opposed to DMK, then it might help DMK actually. That is one concern actually because
Yeah.
the anti DMK votes will be split.
Mm.
So, anyhow, Rajani says he is going to get into spiritual
Uh,
politics. Anmiga Arasiyal in Tamil it is called.
mm.
And let's wait and see. And his spiritual politics is encompassing, Islam, Christianity, everything. It's not
Mm.
just Hindu spirituality.
Mm.
He says
Mm.
Jesus is spiritual and Muhammad is spiritual and like that.
Mm. Mm.
So we have to wait and see. First
Yeah.
of all, wait for 31st December whether he is really going to enter or some more, like cinematic, dramatic turns may take place. He may come on the stage with on a wheelchair with a nurse accompanying with that tube and bottle and other thing and declare that I am not well, so I will go to Singapore to take rest. So you never, it's a, this Tamil Nadu politics is something fascinating.
Yeah.
Next day, even what is happening, you cannot,
Predict.
predict. There, there are no what you call ideology or anything like that. So this is a very, we'll wait and see. But it will have an impact if he enters. That is very sure. You cannot write him off. That
Anyway,
much is sure.
anyway it's 31st, so everybody will be high, quite high. So whatever he says and does, they will appreciate it because they'll be high in spirits.
Yeah. But of course, one criticism or one observation is,
Yeah.
his followers are all above 40 only,
Yeah.
because of his age and
Yeah.
all, those days, those who saw the
Yeah.
films and other.
Yeah.
But there is another factor. Ridhiman is asking
Yeah.
this mini bump is also expected to come.
Yeah.
She's called Chinnamma, what you call the uh, Shashikala. So we call her mini bump. Minimum is also expected to be released
Yeah.
anytime in January end or something. Her relatives are coming earlier, and she will also have some impact in the sense, at least within her party. Within her party, she has a good amount of support because what has happened in those days, she has selected all these MLAs and district level leaders and
Yeah.
lower than district level lead. So many of them are loyal to her, and her community is also very, very loyal. Their community, she belongs to Tanjore, but
Yeah.
still they are very. So that will also have some impact. The third factor, which of course is not clear, is this Stalin's elder brother,
Mm.
uh, Alagiri. He is in from Madurai. He is also threatening to do something, enter
Oh.
elder, because younger brother has been given the, something very curious. There's one
Yeah.
research can be done on this.
Uh,
All over India, the leaders give it to the second child, not to the first child. You
oh,
see, in Karnataka, Devagowda's first child is Revanna.
yeah.
He has not been given the importance, but the
Uh,
second child has been given the
uh,
importance.
uh,
Same thing, Lalu Yadav, first child has not been given the power, only the
yeah,
second.
yeah,
The second
yeah.
child syndrome, I think, will
Uh,
be a very good thesis topic.
uh,
Why they are choosing the second child? Because, of course, in the very old days when I was in school, it always jokingly used to be told first child is some sort of a, his duty type of thing. The
yeah.
last child is due to passion. That type
Uh,
of logic used to be told. I do not know whether any of them.
uh,
So this is something very interesting actually. The second child syndrome can
yeah.
be
Mm,
observed. So
yeah.
let's wait and see. I think by Pongal,
Mm,
Sankranti, that
mm,
is January 14,
mm,
things will crystallize
yeah.
much more. There are also some rumblings telling some leaders from these major DMK and they will all leave and join Rajani and
Yeah.
like what happened in Bengal, if you remember.
Mm,
Very curious, very interesting. The advisor for the Bengal chief minister is same as the advisor for Stalin, and both ways is so that is one Prashant Kishore.
yeah, yeah.
The reports indicate he has collected 380 crores from DMK, and that itself I would enormously appreciate him because DMK was never known to give anybody any money.
Yeah.
If you could collect from them some money, that means he is really a. I don't know whether his predictions will come true or not, but he's a what one can call a great and clever person,
Mm,
and he is advising there also in Bengal also. I only hope his advice is what type of advice he gives and other
yeah.
thing. We have to wait and see,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. The next point is about corona. Union Health Ministry and Niti Aayog confirmed that the new strain of coronavirus detected in the UK did not increase severity, adding that the mutation had only increased its transmissibility. Urging that there was no reason to panic, Niti Aayog's Dr. V.K. Paul asserted that while there was no cause for concern, vigilance was needed. How do you see this? And could you speak about the world situation in context of COVID, sir?
See, the first and foremost is though I don't want to call it corona. It's a
Yeah,
Chinese virus.
yeah,
It is the Wuhan virus. You
yeah,
see, when Ebola river that problem came, it was called Ebola actually. Similarly, you remember the pig, virus of Japan. It is called Japanese encephalitis.
yeah.
It's not given by, but in this case alone, China being a bully and it controls WHO,
Mm,
it is able to tell as COVID or Corona.
mm,
Everybody in the world is using that only
mm,
instead of calling it Chinese virus.
yeah.
There, China is an enormous amount. You see, nearly 1 year is more than 1 year actually.
Mm,
November 19, it was supposed to have started
mm,
actually.
mm,
While as roughly I'm telling,
mm,
and the world scientists, WHO, and all sorts of people are not able to precisely tell
mm,
what is the origin of this issue. They told they will send a team to China. Then China told we will cooperate, but the scientists should go to places where we are showing only. And this is going on. I think this is if you ask me, this is a huge scandal. According to me, my reading
yeah.
is China has deliberately done this bioterrorism.
Mm,
You remember Hiroshima after the
yeah.
Second World War when USA exactly the same thing China has done now.
Mm,
And after Hiroshima, everybody criticized US, but US became a global power actually
yeah.
between 45 and 55.
Mm,
And China wants to become global power using this actually.
yeah.
And this ministry's advisory that the new strain you don't have to worry, and I don't I take that, but not. There are 2,000 variants have been found on this virus. One doesn't know which variant, what other type of virus they would introduce is also not clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, one interesting thing, madam,
Mm,
all these right wing leaders have been affected.
mm,
Trump, then British foreign prime minister, Macron, and in our own country, Amit Shah, Naddan. Not
mm,
many leftists have been. socialist leaders. I don't think the virus discriminate between socialism and free market or anything like that. The whole thing is highly suspicious, actually. And I have a feeling China will have many more in their arsenal. And they are now claiming, and their country, there is not much of a problem. You see, last week, if you see the statistics, roughly 70,000 people have died in Europe and US. 1 week per day, 10,000 people. Whereas in China, nobody has been affected, and they are showing all music conference in Wuhan, and and they are telling that they will grow positive growth rate of 4 to 5%. Okay, whole world is talking of negative growth rate.
Yeah, yeah.
China alone is. I think this is. I think they have to deal with China very squarely. I am very disappointed. No major world leader has condemned China. One. And we should ask the reparation from China. You know, the amount of loss India has incurred,
Yeah,
closing of shops, closing of restaurant, and then airlines industry, tourism, and all that thing.
yeah,
China has to give actually the reparation for all these things. It is very very important. But nobody is asking about it. China has become a big bully, if you ask me.
yeah, yeah,
In Africa, they have practically colonized many countries
yeah,
using their projects and other things,
yeah,
and also in Central Asia, many
yeah,
of these so they start projects, and the country is not able to anyhow able to what one can call meet the debt obligation. In Sri Lanka, they have done the same thing. They say we will take over your port, your railways, and this is how they are functioning actually.
yeah,
So the and in various, WHO is under their thumb. That Tedros, he acts more like a Chinese agent rather than a World Health Organization chief, And this United Nation human rights. Can you believe human
yeah,
rights? China is having a role. Saudi
yeah,
Arabia, Pakistan. Can you associate any human rights with any of these countries? Sudan. These are all the human rights in unit. So I think China has slowly, creepingly occupied a large number of organizations. One.
yeah,
Second is US universities, so many of them are today funded by China, billions of dollars, and many of the professors are getting salary from through these projects,
yeah,
and they have all become sort of subservient, and so is the media. Earlier it used to be Saudi Arabia, and now it has become China. So I think, according to me, very sorry to tell your viewers as well as you, 21 is not going to be any different,
yeah,
and 22 also perhaps, unless and until there is a what you call a deal in order to deal with China very clearly. And as far as India is concerned, I think we should also grow some backbone and deal with them. We should recognize Taiwan or do something like that, and we should tell them where they should get off. Actually, expecting US to help us is very very far away. You remember Second World War. Churchill actually won the war against Germany, but he didn't get elected. Who got elected was Attlee. He was a very weak person. He withdrew from all the colonies, and then he was trying to make appeasement.
yeah,
Much before Churchill, there was one Chamberlain.
yeah,
Between 33 and 39, they didn't realize the gravity of Hitler
yeah,
till he went and occupied this Poland. So this
yeah,
is something, and the only major leader who called this as a China virus is Trump.
yeah,
Unfortunately, he has lost. This Biden, I don't have much. He is he is
yeah,
snail, I will say, without
yeah.
any bones at all over the place. And he is also too old. And I have a very vague feeling in 1 or 2 years this lady will become the president,
Take over.
and which is very very dangerous for India. Very sorry to she all her advisors and all the things are very. So nobody is taking up the issue of China as of now, and I only hope and wish some Churchill emerges
Yeah,
among all these snail leaders. I call them snail leaders. Snail is the only thing I can think of. Boneless wonders. All these leaders. So this is something which we should seriously think about. and thinking that in 21 everything will be fine and other thing is not going to be easy actually. So it's a very important that what type of further viruses they have got. See, Russia is involving itself in digital warfare. They are, supposed to be getting into all the critical computers of US as well as European countries, and then, so they are what you may loosely call the digital. China is involving in bio warfare.
Yeah.
I think we should be very clear. China should be declared as a bio-terrorist country,
Correct.
and all type of dealings with that should be stopped. That's the only way in which, you see, they are a very big bully, and a bully can't be dealt with in terms of, appeasement and other things.
Yeah.
You have to be a counter bully.
Yeah.
Then only, they will understand. But I don't know when the world is going to realize this. See, UK has completely gone into lockdown. 100% unbelievable in terms of this season, particularly
Yeah.
between December 15th to January 5th or something. It's a massive all over Europe. It's a very big time actually. It's what they call their holiday time or whatever it is. Meeting friends, meeting relatives, giving gift, and you may call all of that stupid, but that's a time in which they really, and that time it's completely closed. Millions of restaurant owners, millions of these small businesses, tourism people, all have been impacted. But still, no European leader is calling China as a terrorist country. They are all still planning to, deal with it. You can't deal with it. I'm telling you, you can't deal with Hitler
Yeah.
very easily. They will realize, I'm sure, 33 to 39, what happened in Europe is happening in the world today.
Yeah.
They all thought, Chamberlain thought we will have more discussion, talks, and further talks. And there is no time actually. Let's wait and see how it develops, and it's not going to be easy. That much I can tell you. And our economy is significantly damaged due to this actually, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Amrita is asking, sir, what are your thoughts on Event 201, a high-level pandemic exercise conducted on October 18,
October 18,
2009?
2009, that might be a prelude
Yeah.
actually to all this, right? And there are reports suggesting that China knew about this as early as September,
Yeah.
but they didn't reveal it to the world. They didn't. And then one of my colleague, when I was in Shanghai, he was that time. I'm telling about 5 6 years before. He was telling many of the unregulated places, unregulated laboratories, experiments are going on splicing the gene and type of creating what you may loosely call strains of food grains which can be introduced, which will spoil all the food grains produced. All type of experiments are going on, he was telling me those days, and most of them are not regulated properly. So it's a very, China is danger.
Yeah.
We should recognize it. And I'm talking about CPC more than anything. I'm not talking about ordinary Chinese. They may not even know what their leaders or party is doing. You are from Kerala, so you know
Yeah.
how the Marxist function, right? I don't think many lower level fellows will even know, right? So that so much gold is coming through the wrong part of the body, from this Dubai and all these places. Anyhow, uh, yeah,
Yeah. So the next point is, meanwhile, in Bangalore, in a massive
yeah.
development in the Bangalore riots case, the NIA on Monday arrested 17 SDPI and PFI party leaders for their involvement in violence at the KG Halli police station on August 11th. The new set of arrests come almost a month after 43 locations in Bangalore included 4 offices of the Social Democratic Party of India, which is the SDPI, were raided by the NIA. During the raids which took place, the NIA nabbed incriminating evidence at the SDPI offices, including swords, knives, and iron rods, which have been seized by the agency. So far, 187 accused persons have been arrested in the case, and further probe is underway. The NIA's investigation comes under 2 broad cases that have been registered at the KG Halli and DJ Halli police stations. The cases pertain to large scale rioting armed with lethal weapons causing injuries to police personnel, destruction of public and private property, including the two police stations, which had become a hotspot during the violence, and intention to cause terror in society. How do you see that, sir? The
You
Bangalore violence?
see, this we have been warning for the last, if you ask me, 5 6 years actually, that these separatist and dangerous forces are developing in the south,
Yes.
particularly the PFI and SDPI,
Yeah. Yeah.
and under various garbs and other things. And they are supported by a lot of anarchists and radicalists and various other groups and other things. But unfortunately, I can share it with you. Delhi, is not a very, understanding of the situation in the peninsular India. There is a problem in Kashmir or Punjab or nearby, then they are more alert, including the media. I'm telling. The media is all Delhi centric.
Yeah.
South actually is becoming a very very explosive place. This Dravidian groups, this PFI group,
Yeah.
STPA group. If you remember, Rajiv Malhotra wrote sometime 8 years before about this breaking India forces. They are very very powerful here in the south.
Mm.
After all that, now only that NIA is thinking of starting an office in Chennai. They should have had an office in Chennai long time before. They don't have. They operate from outside and then
Yeah.
come and then. According to me, they should have an office in Chennai. They should
Mm.
also have an office in Trivandrum.
Yeah.
Very important.
Mm.
And operate, and this is very very serious issue actually.
Mm.
You remember this Kudangulam? The
Mm.
project was postponed by something 3 4 years actually due to this
Yeah.
agitation by some of the church groups actually that time,
Yeah.
and they were all funded from abroad. A very sober and very non-controversial person like Manmohan Singh, he made a statement that some of these NGOs and others are trying to derail the development. He is not known to make any. Actually, he is not known to make any statement at all.
Yeah.
And he was my teacher, so sorry
Yeah.
to tell you this very
Yeah.
interestingly.
Yeah.
And he went to Japan, for a visit. He took a
Uh,
translator. So
uh,
I wrote him a mail telling, you don't require a translator because silence doesn't need translation, right? Anywhere in the world, right? It's same thing. Anyhow, he's a nice person. So
yeah.
he gave the statement actually.
Yeah.
So this, I think we are not seriously considering the issues
Yeah.
arising out of this. For instance, the CAA, anti-CAA agitation doesn't have any, bone or any meat or anything. Similar to the farmers' agit, it went on and on. Even in Bangalore, there was a very massive anti-CAA against what? Nobody knows actually. Nobody told that Indian Muslims are going to be sent. Nothing like that. It doesn't talk even about Indian Muslim actually. And this having papers, nothing wrong in having paper. All over the world, people are having papers. Today, for instance, tomorrow, this week, this Tamil Nadu government says anybody having a ration card will get 2,500 rupees. So for that, I am sure everybody will collect the papers in order to get the 2,500 rupees, right? So the benefits you want, you must have some proof. Actually, there is nothing wrong about it. Otherwise, yeah, like in UP, they recently did the thing. 2 lakh students of madrasas were ghost students because they began to send money as a direct transfer to the bank. They found out that 2 lakh, not an ordinary thing, something of the order of some 6 7 crore they saved. The point I want to make is these vociferous and very very divisive forces are gaining ground, and I can tell you, madam, take my word today, the next major agitation similar to the farmers one will come from south under some pretext. They will all sit on the road and then, and I think we should be very alert about it. These are dangerous type of thing. Extremist groups in Islam, extremist group in Christianity,
Yeah.
and all these activist group. If you want to start a project, immediately they put a red flag. You
Yeah.
cannot start a project.
Yeah.
Why? Some one tree will be, and then some Western media will write. These Western countries are funny.
yeah,
200 years they destroyed nature.
yeah,
They literally raped the nature.
mm,
And as I always tell, to wash their bottom, they have
mm,
destroyed, how many forests?
mm,
Billions of trees to clean their bottom.
yeah,
They have done that for last 150, 200 years. They could have used as well water, right? They never did that.
yeah,
So, and now they are preaching us
mm,
that you should preserve trees, you should preserve animals and all that rubbish.
yeah,
My colleague Skipper from US used to say he's always fascinated at India because he says this is the only country where I find on the roadside women are worshipping trees. They are putting some kumkum on the tree and showing some arti. He says he has never seen it in China or in Latin America or anywhere in the world.
yeah,
So these anarchists, this PFI, SDPI, and extreme church groups, as well as your this activist, they call themselves. They are against any project. Forget about not that this project or that project. Road widening, they will come and stand there. So this has become a
yeah,
huge problem actually, and they are going, they are gaining ground. And some of the mainline parties like Congress, DMK, CPM, and all these are also now supporting them actually.
yeah,
This PFI has got huge amount of support from LDF in this Kerala.
yeah,
So it's a very sad. And our Congress president, then President Rahul Gandhi, he moved from UP into Wayanad area
yeah, yeah,
just because he will get support from all the radical Islamist groups also.
yeah,
So I think very, very difficult times are ahead, according to me. And this is only a, simple indication of
yeah,
that actually.
yeah,
The other one, you might have read about it.
yeah,
Finally, that Kerala nun's death case has
yeah.
been
In fact, I was going to take it up now.
28 years have taken, ma.
28 years. Yes,
Can you
yes.
believe it?
Yeah,
3 decades for one case to
yeah,
be decided. By the
yes,
time these fellows, I tell you, the judicial system is delay. I will give you an example.
yeah,
This judge, session judge, was so angry with that man sitting on
yeah,
the
yeah.
uh, standing there. He asked, "You are 70-year-old,
Oh,
and you have the audacity to kiss a 20-year girl or what?
yeah,
What if you are 25? I would have at least, considered and then given you pardon. You are 70 and you tried to kiss a girl of 20 years."
yeah,
That man told, "Sir, when I was 25 only, I tried to kiss that girl, but that case has now only come up before you when I am 70." So, this is the speed at which our 28 years, I cannot, well, I read it 2, 3 times actually.
right.
That Abaya, her soul,
Yeah.
she,
And that
would have
too,
been.
yeah, that too by the thief.
How? Well, what type of delays, what type of, one cannot, because the fellows would have become fairly old. And
Yeah,
now we will apply under the, thing that I have become a senior citizen, kindly give me some, exemption and other thing.
yeah,
Right? Because,
yeah,
he would have, if you were 60 that time, now you will be 78,
yeah,
so 88. So
yeah.
like that, it's a very, very sad state of affairs.
Mm, mm,
So this the divisive, as they call, breaking India is a good name actually. These
mm,
forces in South, I think there is a need to keep an eye on that, and the government should be alert about it. Not just the vociferous forces in Delhi or nearby, or and if you ask me, a Kashmir type situation is developing in the south. Particularly Kerala and Tamil Nadu are two states to watch.
yeah,
If you travel on the coast or if you travel down another thing, you will find suddenly proliferation of churches and mosques. You know where from the funding come. So many actually. I'm not
yeah,
against them, but why like adjacent every 500 yard you will find one institution coming up. I think we have to be a little more observant and alert about it,
yeah.
both socially and politically.
Mm,
Right?
yes.
Yes.
In fact, Ridhiman Agarwal is asking, Professor Ji, why didn't Modi crack down upon the Punjab agitators and enforce the law and order security? strictly? Is he afraid?
I don't think he's afraid or anything. Basically, you remember that that Baba Ramdev group had a huge thing against corruption in those days, and there was a finally Chidambaram decided to act against them in a night, and one lady also died in that actually.
Mm,
And that type of action, it only creates what I would rather call a reaction sympathetic to the agitators, as if
yeah, yeah,
and this will he is adopting the age old system of wearing them out actually.
yeah, yeah,
You go on exposing them and wearing them out, and then I think that's setting police or army against this large number of them are innocent. They may not even know why they are there. That is another issue. There were some interviews by these fellows, TV fellows. They didn't know actually why they say that we get pizza and
yeah,
we get massage of the leg and other thing happy, and everything is taken care. So why should what for you are here? He was not sure.
yeah,
So what I mean to say, so many innocent fellows also could be what one can call will be affected. I
yeah,
think this strategy, let us see. I won't immediately say they are all terrorists or they are all. It's not of that group. It contains of, and now I think whatever little I understand, slowly it is petering away. In the sense, many of them are going back, and many of them are not in. See, other states are not coming forward. First of
mm,
all, and it has now become totally political. It has been exposed that it is Congress and the other type of opposition parties are all jumping into that. So it's
yeah,
not anymore economic; it's
yeah,
political. So let's wait and see. I would not also go for immediate army or police action against this type of
yeah,
agitators and other. Even in the other one, CAA agitation, what is known as Shaheen Bagh, they didn't use later. Unfortunately, when it ended in violence,
yeah.
and those cases are now going on. Another, yeah,
Yeah. Sir, I'll just brief our viewers about the Abaya case, if you can just hear me.
correct,
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah, yeah. Meanwhile, in Kerala, in the Abaya case, Sister Abaya case, Adakku Raju, the robber, has helped to pin the accused priest. Adakka Raju, who had come to steal at Pious ex convent the same night Abaya was murdered, turned to be a crucial witness in the case for the CBI. Adakaraju became the prominent witness for the CBI in cracking the case. A thief who has committed several thefts from various places met with the CBI 16 years after the murder took place. What he revealed to the CBI turned the case around for the probe team. Raju identified the two priests, Kotur, Father Kotur and Father Jose Putrukail, inside the convent after seeing their arrest on television and in newspapers, that too 16 years after the incident. As per him, Raju used to steal lightning arresters installed in buildings. On two occasions, he had been to the same convent and stole a part of it. It was during his third robbery he witnessed two men walking towards him, lighting a torch. On seeing them, he hid and watched their activities. As per his statement, Kotur and Jose climbed the spiral staircase which led from the cellar to the fifth floor and the terrace. These persons reached the terrace and they turned against each other in different locations and they lit their torches over the parapet wall of the terrace situated on the top of the fifth floor and were looking towards the ground. This eyewitness statement helped the probe team pin the activities of the priest on the night of the murder. After the verdict, Raju expressed his elation with the judgment. He spoke to the media that many people had come with lots of money offerings, but he didn't fall for it. I still live in a small hut. I have a daughter. My resolve for justice for that young girl, Abhaya, was solid, he said. Meanwhile, Abhaya Case Action Council convener Joe Mon said that despite offering a large amount of bribe, Raju the robber turned out to be God's eye in the case.
Very sad state of affairs, and also very innocent positive about the behavior of this boy.
Yeah,
he could
yeah,
have been lured, or he could have
yes,
just got those sum of money, and then it's a very And there is another one also. I remember it is going on. Some Father Mulakal or somebody
Yes, yes.
who was also, supposed to
Bishop,
have,
yeah, bishop, yeah.
bishop
Bishop
actually.
Francis, yeah, yeah.
He was in Chandigarh, and
Yes,
then finally he wanted some bail, and
yeah,
I don't know how long it is going to take actually.
yes,
And one I can't believe it. One group says that we are governed by canonical laws and not by Indian code, and this I cannot believe. They say that it's the Vatican which has to give the punishment, not
yeah.
the local court.
Water.
I don't know where we are heading for actually in this fashion, because
In
then
fact,
other groups like Mormons say will say only the Mormon head in
yeah,
Salt Lake City has to be. Then there are Pentecostal, hundreds of these groups are
yeah,
there. Each one will claim that their parent body only can take action. No, no, this is, I think, it's a very, very sad state of affair. I only hope in your state, Kerala, it has been adequately, this Abaya at least has been adequately covered actually. I hope so. Right?
media is very biased, and if somebody speaks, they disappear overnight.
Hmm. Very nice.
Yeah. Another point, Professor. Meanwhile, in AAP's case, Manish Sisodia's convoy was stopped in Lucknow. Arriving in UP on Tuesday, Delhi's Deputy CM Manish Sisodia has claimed that he was blocked by the state's police force on his way to visit a school. How do you see AAP's movement into UP?
I will I will tell you one thing. In 2010, AAP was involved in the fasting
Yeah.
against this corruption and other thing. 2010-11. I was in Delhi. I was because I was the one who had this report prepared on this black money and corruption, and it became a very major talking point and other thing. This Kejriwal and this Sisodia and another one Yadav. What is
Yeah.
this Yadav?
Yogendra
Gadi.
Yadav. Yogendra
Yogendra
Yadav.
Yadav. They were all came, and I had after that with Arvind Kejriwal, I had a one-to-one type. At the end of it, I came to the conclusion they are anarchist. They are not for any rule of law or anything. They are anarchist of the highest order.
Yeah.
Destabilize the system. What is the alternative? Nothing. Kejriwal told me, believe me, that he will never enter into politics.
Yeah.
Politics is such a dirty game. I
Yeah.
want to cleanse the society, he told.
Yeah.
Like, cleansing using, your liquid soap or whatever way you can cleanse it. He wanted to cleanse the society.
Uh,
Anyhow, this is a very unfortunate that I gave some amount of, brain for the Delhi people. I don't know why they are electing. Three times, if I remember, they have elected him, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Or so this is something because of course he promises free this, free that, and
Babies.
free power, free. Same thing I am sure in this Tamil Nadu, this Stalin group will say we will give you free everything, and
Yeah.
so this is. But expansion in UP is not going to be easy for them. That
Yeah.
much I can tell. They tried in other places also. They got one seat or two seat in Goa. That's all,
Mm.
and that is because of individual. Initially, if you remember, even in Bangalore, there was so much enthusiasm for them.
Yeah.
This one of the Infosys, chief Balakrishna or somebody, he was associated. Then this Kiran Majumdar Shah, if I remember, she gave some statement. All that, but it didn't click. It's not very easy because, and even in Gujarat, they were having some amount. Maharashtra, some the what you may loosely call the elite intellectuals, they were swayed by him. Like his alternative and other thing. Then they realized that nothing, and that Yadav also left him. Actually,
Mm.
he is not. So basically, they are what you may loosely call anarchist,
Mm.
supported by urban naxals. Actually, if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
ask me,
Yeah.
and this type of a no way they could think in terms of a organized type of proper activity or anything. They want to disrupt. That's all. For instance, I'll give you a simple example. He gazetted this farm bill. He is the chief minister of the state
Mm.
of Delhi.
yeah,
They gazetted the farm bill. Gazetted means what? It is recognized as an act and
yes,
it has to be acted upon. And later, inside the assembly, it tears it to pieces. There should be, some logic or something.
yeah.
You can't do something and then the same thing he tears
And
it
tear it
to
apart.
pieces and throws it like on the face. So many of his actions are not logical. But I don't understand. But maybe Delhi don't like logic. I think that is possibly one reason. I don't know what is happening actually. Somebody told he perceived to be clean, another thing, and that alone I don't know whether how much clean he is or anything. But that alone cannot be a criteria
Mm,
for. It is a very difficult. And if Sisodia has been stopped at Lucknow, it's a good thing actually. He should have been
mm,
stopped at Delhi border itself. Let them create enough anarchy within Delhi. Why in UP, right? Of all the place,
mm, mm,
UP has got enough anarchy already. So
mm.
why add to this thing? This and sometimes many of these are stunt also. I'm telling you,
Yeah, it is.
stunt in the sense
Yeah, mainly, yeah,
they will get arranged by a local cop to stop them or something,
yeah,
and one or two friendly TV fellows will come and immediately. That is the most important thing in India today. You should get some camera fellows to take, and then so my car has not been allowed my on this. I am, I'm very very disappointed with this app. I think, and in the sense, it's a, and I should now recall and tell you among various BJP leaders at that time, the only person, two people, one was this Govindacharya,
mm,
who agreed with me that he is an anarchist.
yeah,
Another was Subramaniam Swami, who told these fellows are anarchists.
yeah,
No other fellows. No, everybody was going gaga actually,
mm,
telling, oh, these people are going to be the future and other thing. Many from the BJP also, many from various other parties also. It's a very, very interesting thing, right? That's a, and one question Shailaja says, why are so many urban Naxal? This is it's a fad actually. It's a very, you see, there is a old saying that at 20 you should be a communist, and
okay,
at 40 you better not be a communist. If you are not a communist at 20, your heart should be checked.
huh,
And if you are continue to be communist at 40, your brain should be checked. So this is something which it's a young age, and that's a time in which you want change, you want you look around and you find a lot of oppression, depression, and various other things, and you think they offer a very simplistic solutions and other thing. For it's a very attractive thing in campuses actually. If particularly if you perceive yourself to be an intellectual, it
yeah,
is much more. If you are one of those sida sada thing, you just go and see some what one can call some of these local movies, and who watch this dance and dramas, and weep for India losing in cricket in double digit and other. But if you perceive yourself to be intellectual, then you become a communist. And now, among them, the CPI and CPM is on a decline all over the country. So Nakshals are now the new brand which are coming up again. But it's according to me, these are all fads actually, which will
yeah,
settle down, right? That will happen actually.
yeah,
Lot of youngsters will, as they get along, and then as they get married and as they get children and other thing, many of them will become what one can call sober and normal, not
yeah,
nakshal anymore. So
yeah.
that's the, so we should keep that in mind actually. Age is a factor that's very very important, right?
Sir, with so many people, quitting Mamta's ship, is she going to be the lone person?
No, no, I don't think so. She still has a huge amount of mass support. What she might do is, she might already it is by and large the CPM also. This Bengali nationalism is very very important. It is something like DMK actually. CPM used that tremendously, even though there were very very cosmopolitan and other, but the underlying Bengali nationalism they used very much. She may turn to that. That you see, this BJP is not rooted in Bengali nationalism, and that's one possibility. BJP has an answer that our founder himself is Shyam Prasad Mukherjee, who is a Bengali. But second is what BJP has done is very interesting. Traditionally in Bengal, what I call the BBK group used to be the dominant group.
Yeah.
BBK is Brahmin, Baudhi, and Kayastha. These are the three communities which are almost all their leaders come from there. And now there is a social engineering which has been done
Yeah.
where the lower level leaders are all coming up. Magishas and various other OBCs. OBCs in Bengal were never a major factor. Incidentally, that's one of the state which never had any reservation for OBCs. SC/ST, yes, and then that's all. Not they didn't care, and this social engineering has created a huge amount of churn in Bengal politics.
Yeah.
So the BJP is significantly utilizing this in order to get these groups
Yeah.
into the mainstream. But I'm sure Mamata. I will not say that she still has a good amount of following, and this Suvendra Adhikari leaving, we have to wait and see how much impact it creates because it could create some sympathy for her also.
Yeah.
But many people are telling she is trying to boost her nephew because she
Yeah.
is not married,
Yeah.
so she cannot claim anybody to be her son or something.
Yeah.
So that is the but her nephew she is boosting. This is the complaint against her. And I tell you all this, there are I always call it chobis. 24 families are having a good control in India. Every state one family. Sheikh Abdullah to your what one can call MK Stalin to Devagowda to Pinarayi. I don't know whether he is boosting your daughter. I think she is focusing on some software, right? And
No, no, she's also part of it.
she is part of it. Okay. So there are 24 families are in good control everywhere.
Yeah.
Sharad Pawar and his daughter and every, one can go on listing them. And Didi is, building up her own nephew in that fashion. And that has created a, problem for this Adhikari type of people who are also aspire, everybody is ambitious these days. Everybody want to become a minister and have one red light on top of the car and, one, two police people opening your door. These are all gives you a lot of sense of power. So he feels he is being denied. So we have to wait and see. I will not write it off, Mamata or anything. Another thing is this communist and Congress are combining.
Yeah.
That is something very, very interesting. CPM and Congress are aligning with each other. And they also have a good amount of vote strength. See what happened. Originally, all the Congress gundas moved to TMC.
Yeah.
Bengal politics is gunda politics. Whoever has got large amount of gundas will be the final. It's 70 onwards. I stayed there for 10 years. I know. One election, one of my professor went to vote. He was stopped by some gundas. He asked, I have to vote. He told, vote for what? I have to, he gave a big bhashan. I have to elect my representative. They told, we have done that on your behalf. You are electing a representative. We are your representative. We have elected him. And his vote has been already cast actually. So this is very, very common in Bengal. They will not allow you into the booth. In the olden time, they will, snatch the ballot box and paper, and nowadays it is electronic. So the only way is they won't allow you to enter the booth. So all the Congress goons went into TMC under Mamata. Unfortunate, all the CPM goons are moving to BJP today. So it's basically a goon system actually. It's there in every state, but in Bengal it's a huge thing actually. There is no ideology or ideology is onion there. That's all. It's a cover for. But so Mamata has not completely lost. She still has got grit and she is perceived to be a voracious leader of sorts. Actually, she still commands a huge amount of following. So you can't write her off or anything.
Yeah.
And interestingly, our advisor is same as I told you, the Tamil Nadu
Sure. Sure.
Stalin's advisor. So I don't know which advice will work or We have to wait. And I won't write her off. I will
Yeah.
not actually. She may even get indirect support from CPIM and this Congress alliance
Yeah.
in many constituencies because they are more against BJP than against Mamata.
Yeah.
So this is a very interesting scenario developing there. If
Yeah.
she has started playing on this Bengali nationalism, she
Yeah.
says these people are all outsiders and Amit Shah is an outsider and we have to wait and see how much of this outsider insider works in that state.
Yeah.
Like in Tamil Nadu, you are outsider, you are insider, and Kerala doesn't have so much of that problem, outsider insider, because Rahul Gandhi is an outsider. They have elected him as their representative, right? So let's wait and see. I would not write off Mamata, madam.
So
I'm
the
telling
last
you.
bit of news, I'll just tell you about Karima Baloch. She was an activist and she was found mysteriously dead in Canada. She was an activist and former chairperson of Baloch Students Organization Azad, who had been vocal about Pakistan Army and government atrocities in Balochistan. She was found dead in Toronto, Canada, according to Balochistan Post. Karima was a Canadian refugee and named as one of the world's 100 most inspirational and influential women in 2016 by BBC. She had gone missing on Sunday and was last seen at approximately 3 p.m. on the same day. Toronto police has requested for public assistance in locating her. However, now her family has confirmed that Karima's body has been found. This is another problem in Balochistan. Systematically, they are being massacred. And could you speak a bit about that, Professor?
There is a case you would have I think you are telling me or
Yeah.
earlier in Sweden actually near a river actually another
Yes.
Baluch leader was
Yeah.
in similar circumstances
Yeah.
killed. And this Justin Trudeau, who talks about the farmers' plight in this India, he doesn't seem to be worried about this domestic terrorism. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure this should be properly investigated. 100%, I am sure the Pakistani, what you call link will be exposed. It's not something which could have happened because
Yeah.
they have this ISI all over the world roaming and trying to figure out who are
Yeah.
so the but very sad actually because Baluchistan is such a noble and sober country actually.
Yeah.
It should have been part of India. We should have accepted it in those days when the partition took place. Baluchistan wanted to be part of India only,
Yeah.
but somehow we were as usual we were in our high horse and we wanted to be self-righteous and Pakistan has done a lot of damage to Baluchistan actually. And Baluchi Revolutionary Army is very active. And hopefully, one of these days, India will be able to, liberate Baluchistan, just like they did for Bangladesh. This is, and Justin Trudeau should be thoroughly exposed actually you know, he should investigate this matter
Yeah.
and then you should become what one can call he should identify and I am 100% sure Pakistan hand will be revealed in this actually. It's a very and earlier that Swedish I told you the same thing.
Yeah.
Same way in a near a riverbed he was found and killed another thing. This is unacceptable actually. This global terrorist network of Pakistan. As somebody told, Pakistan is the only country where an army has got a country. Everywhere a country has got an army. So this is what they are doing actually. Very sad state of affairs
Yeah.
actually.
We'll take one last question, Professor, from Ridhiman. He says, Sir, your views on huge conversion drive going on in Andhra under the aegis of the evangelist in Chief Minister.
This is quite a long time before itself it has started, not
Yeah. Yeah.
under Samuel Rajshekar Reddy itself it has started. It's
Yeah.
and there is one MP who told in a television channel that 20 or 25% of AP is already converted. He told that actually. He told, and many of them don't accept or rather come out to accept it because they feel they will lose their reservation benefits and other things. Many places cases are going on elected representatives who have been elected under AC and but at the same time they are not they are converted actually. Once you
Yeah.
convert AC benefit goes away, ST benefit doesn't go away. So there is a Member of Parliament openly told in a television interview that 25% of Andhra Pradesh is already gone. So this is a very, very serious situation. It's already, Kerala, for instance, many people say Hindus maybe, maybe just lower than 50%, or because if you exclude Islam and Christian, as well as some hardcore Marxists who are supposed to be atheist. Not all Marxists. Some Marxists silently go because of their wife's compulsion to temples and other thing. Like Stalin's wife goes to all the temple and does all the puja, and she says in an interview that he likes the pongal which is distributed, and then he takes it. He says puliyodara, pongal, and other thing. So not all Marxists are atheists, but still if you deduct them also, then I think Hindus will be maybe 35-40% only. Because that 50 goes, then another 10 or 15 will go. It's a very sad state of affair. AP is similarly getting impacted for a long time. Now it's not something very new or something. And it's a very, but slowly now I find in some places there is a resistance. Some places Hindus are telling the preachers, why are you coming here and trying to
Yeah, yeah,
convert us, and some sort of a counter is taking place. But it's a very very
sad
important
situation.
and thing to look at actually.
Yeah. Professor, only one parting comment from your side regarding the revival of business after this COVID period, as in real estate,
It will,
tourism,
see, the
hotels.
government has taken some steps, but all of them are on the supply side.
Yeah,
We should have something on the demand side. I'll give you an example. I have known in the ring road here one restaurant owner. In the pre-COVID time, if you go on a Friday evening, you have to collect a token and wait outside in plastic chair to enter his restaurant. It will be so crowded. And today he says hardly two, three people come, and his business is around 20%. I asked him about bank loan. He says, I will get bank loan, no problem. But that is only, loan which you have to repay later. I want customers to provide cash inflows to me. This is what is important. That is what is called demand side of the economy. Similarly, the various other activities. There is a music school near my place, which is closed now because nobody is coming there. The
yeah,
children are not coming there anymore.
yeah,
There is a hair cutting salon which is closed there. Gym, which is having very, very few. So all the problem is demand side. For that, I have given three suggestions. Up to 10 lakh, no income tax. Just don't bother, whatever. And some extra cash will be in the hands of people. And senior citizen, no income tax. I will also get benefit, of course. That's okay. The point is, if somebody is earning very much in dividend or interest, then above 20 or 30 lakh or something, you can charge them some 20%.
yeah, yeah,
So up to 10 lakh, no direct income tax. 10 to 30 lakh, say 20%, 10%. Beyond that, 20%. That's all. Make it very, very simple. Go after big bandicoots,
yeah,
huge fellows you catch. These small, small fellows harassing them and catching them doesn't matter. Somebody has not paid 5,000, somebody has not paid. And lot of time and effort is wasted on all these things actually.
yeah,
That is one. Second is I have suggested up to 50 crore no GST. Just announce. These small fellows again don't harass. Tell them that after 3 years you will be included. Give a phased introduction to them. Third is small businesses are harassed due to regulations. Huge amount of all regulations are bribe only. I am telling you. Somebody may shout at me, it doesn't matter. So all food and adulteration, that fellow will inspector will come and somebody will give 500 rupees to you. That's all. Small restaurant where if you are a big company, you have lawyers and chartered accountant and other thing. Chota fellows don't have. My flower vendor, what she can do? She gives immediately bribery. That's all. And then so shops and establishment act like that. You know that in any town, including Bangalore, to start a small chota pawn shop, you have to follow 20 regulations, beast regulation. I used to give project to my student. You go and start a pawn shop. I'll give you money, but you have to follow all the rules. All the student used to fail. Project I used to give mark for methodology and all, but not static, because you have to have land, you have to have water connection, you have to have this power connection, you have to, everything is based on mamul, or what is called the chai pani. Otherwise, you won't get anything. You can have a board, corporation permission is required, name board, and then 60% Kannada font, 40% English font.
mm,
And then evening, if you want neon light, again permission for that.
yeah,
All these are, all the regulation could be kept aside. When I was in college, a true copy of my certificate I have to get signed by a gazetted officer.
mm,
I have to look around for an IAS officer who will put one aside. Now that has been removed. Self certification. If you want to submit your Aadhaar card or PAN card, you can say self certified. Sign. Same way, all these regulation can be self certified. If there is a deviation, punish that fellow severely, according to me. Keep for 3 years pending all this. We had one Narasimha Rao abolished license overnight in
yeah,
91. Then Commerce Minister Power, and before that was Dr. Swami.
mm,
And everybody told there is going to be a hue and cry.
mm,
Nothing happened actually. Only some intermediate fellows lost their business. We require 28 Narasimha Raos in India today.
mm,
28 states. Each state require one PV and Rao. And 150 municipalities require 150 Narasimha Raos. I'm serious about it. All these regulations should be kept aside. It will help small businesses phenomenally, actually. Petty shop fellows, petty traders, flower vendors, vegetable vendor, fitter, plumber, carpenter, restaurant, two bus owners who have the traffic, or some, sand being transported, water being, all these fellows are affected by bribery. According to my estimate, 15 to 20% of the sales income
mm,
goes in paying the government employees, these bribes.
yeah,
So we must encourage. That is what is ease of doing business.
mm.
Ease of doing business is at the ground level, grassroots level, not seminars in Vigyan Bhavan, or no, those are not
But
any
Professor,
amount of. Huh?
Nirmala ji is always asking people to advise her. You should be advising her.
Come again?
Nirmala ji always asks for suggestions and advice.
Yeah, yeah. There
You
are
should be
enough
advising.
number of.
You should be
See,
advising.
suggestions are given, but in US, I jokingly say, in India also, we have got parliamentary hearing committee. Have you ever heard about a listening committee? There is a lot of difference between the two, right? Anyhow, enough suggestions are being given by so many economic experts and other things. But anyhow, you have to wait and see, right?
Yeah,
Hoping for the best.
yeah. Thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you
Very
so
nice
much. We
session.
will meet again, right?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night. I will leave that thing, right?
Yeah.